Scott Morrison effectively confirmed to us this afternoon that the 7.1% unemployment rate is actually more like 11.5%, greater than the last recession. And that was the assessment of the rate that economist Warren Hogan had given Kieran before I attended that press conference this afternoon. It's based on the fact that the figures showed that 830,000 Australians have lost their jobs, and hundreds of thousands of those are not being counted as unemployed in that labour force survey because they were not seeking work during the shutdowns. Once again, and you'll hear in this answer, the PM foreshadowed a plan to try to find a way out of this unemployment crisis, and that involved IR, gas, manufacturing, training the unemployed, and importantly, I thought, he mentioned infrastructure. The economist Warren Hogan, he's told Sky News that we have an effective unemployment rate of 11.5%, which I guess goes with the 830,000 jobs you're talking about losing. Do you agree with that assessment? And just to be blunt about it, what are you going to do about it?
Well, again, like I did when the unemployment figures with the Treasurer last time, I indicated that the unemployment rate, I think, does understate where things are on the ground. That's why I made no reference to the rate. I made reference to the fact that 838,000 jobs had been lost, because that's what's actually happened out there. And how that, adds up in the various, economic measures, there'll be different views on, and so I'm not seeking to have a debate about that. What I know is 838,000 people have lost a job, and that's what we have to turn around.
So the PM in his comments, he sounds like he's setting up at the biggest go at IR reform since John Howard's work choices. It's all about flexibility from what he was saying, being able to change the hours of those employed by you if you're an employer without having to jump through hoops. But how do you get it through the Senate? Sounds like he's going to have a go at it, though. Do you believe you can get IR reform through the Senate? Do you believe you can get the sort of reform you need through that chamber?
It's a test for all Australians, and it's a test for the parliament, but I can assure you the government will not be failing that test.
The PM also hinted very strongly, it seemed to me, that JobKeeper will remain in place in some form at the end of September. No way will it be to the extent that it is now, but he seemed to indicate it must remain in some form to tie workers from distressed industries to their employers. So despite his reluctance generally in his public comments to continue to spend as a government, it appears he has accepted he will have to do that for some months out of this. He says it will take 2 to 5 years to get to where we actually want to be economically. No surprises, judging by the last recession. At the last recession 30 years ago, unemployment peaked at 11%, didn't get under 8% for 8 years. So these figures today, and his acknowledgement that 11.5 is more like it, are very, very concerning.